Some people don't fail in life. They slowly disappear from it. Not in one loud moment. Not in one painful fall. But in quiet days that feel normal. Days that look harmless. Days where nothing goes wrong. And nothing meaningful happens either. And the most dangerous part is, you don't even notice it. You wake up, you scroll, you delay, you promise, you sleep, and then you repeat. Again and again. You tell yourself you still have time. You tell yourself you're just figuring things out. You tell yourself you'll fix everything soon. But soon is a dangerous word, because it keeps moving. It never arrives. And one day, you stop and look back, and realize something heavy. Not days, not months, but years have passed. Not lived, just spent. This is the story of a man who didn't lose his life in one big mistake. He slowly gave it away, for 5 long years. His name was Ion. If you met him, you wouldn't think he was failing. He didn't look lost. He didn't look broken. In fact, he looked like someone who had potential. Someone who could do something meaningful if he really tried. And that was the truth, he could. He had ideas. He had dreams. He used to imagine his future often. A better version of himself. Someone calm, focused, disciplined. Someone who woke up early, worked hard, and built something real. In his mind, that version of him already existed. He could see it clearly. He could feel it. But there was one problem: he never became it. Because imagining a life is not the same as living it. His mornings always started the same way. The alarm would ring, and for a second he would open his eyes. In that small moment there was a choice. A simple one. Get up or stay. And every day he made the same decision. Just 5 more minutes. It sounded harmless. Felt harmless. But those 5 minutes always grew. They stretched into 30, then an hour, sometimes more. By the time he finally woke up, the day already felt heavy. Not because of work, but because of delay. And instead of fixing it, he escaped it. His phone was always there. Waiting. Easy. Comfortable. No effort required. He would scroll endlessly. One video, then another, then another. Time didn't feel real when he was doing it. It moved fast. Too fast. And suddenly it was afternoon. Half the day gone. No progress. No effort. Just consumption. And then came that small voice. Quiet, but honest. You're wasting your life. For a second he felt it. That discomfort. That truth. He would sit up, take a deep breath, and think, okay, enough. I'll start now. But starting felt hard. Too hard. And that's when the other voice came. Softer. Kinder. More convincing. Not today. You're not ready yet. Start fresh tomorrow. And just like that, the moment passed. Night things changed. The noise stopped. The distractions slowed. And in that silence, the truth came back stronger. He would lie on his bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying his day. He would think about everything he planned, and everything he didn't do. The gap between who he wanted to be and who he was felt painful. And in that moment he made promises. Real promises. Tomorrow will be different. I won't waste it again. I'll wake up early. I'll focus. I'll change. And for a moment he believed it. But belief without action changes nothing. Morning came, and the same cycle repeated. The first year passed quietly, almost invisibly. Nothing felt wrong because nothing forced him to change. There was no big failure, no major consequence. Life felt normal. He still had time, or at least that's what he thought. The people around him were also figuring things out. No one was too far ahead, so he felt safe, comfortable. But slowly, very slowly, something started shifting. His friends began moving. Small changes at first. Someone got serious about work. Someone started building a skill. Someone became more disciplined. Ion noticed it. Of course he did. But instead of taking action, he compared. Comparison didn't motivate him. It made him uncomfortable. It reminded him of what he wasn't doing. And instead of facing that discomfort, he avoided it. He started pulling away from conversations about growth. He didn't like being asked what he was doing. Not because he didn't have an answer, but because he didn't like the truth behind it. So he escaped further. More scrolling, more distraction, more delay. And every time he delayed, it became easier to delay again. By the second year, excuses became a part of his identity. They didn't feel like excuses anymore. They felt logical, reasonable. I need the right mindset. I need motivation. I'll start when things are clear. But clarity never came. Because clarity is not found in thinking. It's built through action. But he didn't understand that yet. So he kept thinking, overthinking, planning, imagining, but never executing. His life became a loop. A quiet, invisible loop. Wake up late. Waste time. Feel guilty. Promise change. Sleep. Repeat. Day after day. Week after week. Month after month. Nothing dramatic happened. And that was the real danger. Because when life doesn't punish you immediately, you think your habits are harmless. But time doesn't stop. Keeps moving. Whether you respect it or not. By the third year, the comfort he once felt started turning into discomfort. Not loud, but constant. He couldn't fully enjoy doing nothing anymore. Even while scrolling, he felt restless. Even while relaxing, he felt tired. It was like something inside him was trying to wake him up. But he kept pushing it down. Ignoring it. Escaping it. He tried to change. Many times. He would wake up early for a day. Maybe two. He would make a plan. Write goals. Feel motivated. But his mind didn't like change. It resisted. Strongly. This is too hard. You can't keep this up. Take a break today. And slowly he gave in. One missed day turned into three. Three turned into a week. And he was back where he started. But now it felt worse. Because now he knew. Awareness without action creates pain. At night, his thoughts became heavier. Not just regret, but fear. Real fear. Fear that he might stay like this forever. Fear that he might never become the person he once believed he could be. He started questioning himself deeply. What's wrong with me? Why do I always quit? Why can't I stay consistent? These questions didn't push him forward. They drained him further. By the fourth year, reality became impossible to ignore. His friends were no longer just progressing. They were ahead, clearly ahead. Some had stable income. Some had built routines. Some had clarity. And Ion was still stuck. Same habits. Same cycle. Same excuses. Family started asking questions. Simple ones. But they felt heavy. What are you doing these days? What's your plan? He tried to answer. Sometimes he avoided. Sometimes he gave vague replies. But deep down he felt exposed. Because he knew he was not moving. That's when doubt entered. Not small doubt, deep doubt. Maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe this is who I am. And once a person starts believing that, they stop trying seriously. They accept their condition. Then came the fifth year. The year that didn't give him success, but gave him truth. One day he met an old friend. Someone who used to be exactly like him. Same habits. Same mindset. Same excuses. But now, everything was different. There was calmness, control, direction. They talked. The friend shared his journey. Not perfect, not easy, but real. He talked about discipline, about doing things without feeling like it, about showing up even when motivation was zero. Ion listened, silently, and something inside him cracked. That night he didn't touch his phone. He didn't distract himself. He just sat there, in silence, letting his thoughts come, letting the truth rise. When he stood up and looked around his room, it felt heavy. Not because it changed, but because he finally saw it clearly. The same room had witnessed 5 years of delay, 5 years of empty promises, 5 years of tomorrow, 5 years, gone. He walked slowly to the mirror, stood there, looked at himself, and for the first time he didn't lie. I did this. No excuses, no blame, just truth. Then he noticed something in the corner. An old notebook. He picked it up, opened it, Inside were his dreams, his plans, his goals, written years ago with belief. He read them slowly, and then it hit him. He didn't waste 5 years of time. He wasted himself. Time did what it always does. It moved. He didn't. And in that moment, everything became clear. Discipline is not about feeling ready. It's about doing what matters, even when you don't feel like it. The next morning wasn't magical. No motivation, no excitement, just a decision. He woke up when the alarm rang. His mind resisted, but this time he didn't listen, and that changed everything. Slowly, quietly, painfully, but permanently. He started showing up. Not perfectly, but consistently. He failed some days, slipped many times, but he didn't quit anymore. And over time, the person who wasted 5 years disappeared. And in his place, someone stronger was built. Not from motivation, but from discipline. And maybe that's the truth you need to hear. You're not stuck because life is hard. You're stuck because you keep choosing what is easy. And until that changes, nothing else will. If the story touched you, like, share and subscribe for more stories.